18 November 1968, an F-4D 660249 from the 433rd TFS, Ubon RTAB, was badly struck by 37mm anti-aircraft fire. The damage rendered the stricken Phantom uncontrollable, and Pilot Major Ben Ray Battle ordered his WSO First Lieutenant Robert Kenny Boone to eject. The WSO pulled his handle and filed away from the stricken Phantom on his ejection seat. After Kenny ejected, strangely, Ray immediately noticed the aircraft exhibited slightly more controllability and elected to remain with his aircraft, continuing on solo to Ubon AB, where he executed a safe and successful gear-up landing. Kenny watched helplessly as the Phantom he had just ejected from continued homeward bound as his parachute settled into the Laotian jungle below. Thankfully, poor Kenny was rescued shortly afterward, bruised but unhurt. It would have been an interesting conversation once Kenny returned to base. Kenny Boone and I were flying a fast mover fact mission along the Ho Chi Minh Trail in Laos. It was an orientation ride for Kenny, as he was newly assigned to my unit. We were at 4,000 feet, and Kenny was flying the airplane when I heard an explosion. The aircraft shuddered, and the front windscreen was covered in what turned out to be hydraulic fluid. My sensation was that the aircraft was out of control, and I ordered Kenny to eject, which he did. Instinctively, I took the stick and throttles in hand, and to my amazement, the aircraft was flyable. I called for help for Kenny and headed back for Thailand, where we were stationed. I was given the option of ejecting or landing gear up, as the landing gear would not come down. I elected to land gear up and catch the runway wire with my tail hook. I have 150 aircraft carrier landings and thought I could easily make an arrested landing on the runway. I pulled the power off just as I touched down, and the aircraft settled onto the wire, cutting it. The aircraft slid down the runway and veered off to the right before fish-hooking to the right and stopping. It caught on fire, and I jumped out safely. As you know, Kenny was recovered after spending a nervous night hanging in a tree in Laos. In retrospect, my ordering Kenny to eject was a mistake, which I have always regretted. I felt at the time I was saving his life and intended to eject after he did. We both survived the incident, for which I am grateful. F-4D number 660249 was eventually repaired, needing a new nose cone, some paint, and a new seat for the guy in back. She was returned to service 2 years later in February of 1970 and went on to enjoy a long career. Sadly, old number 249 saw her end with a plunge in the Florida Gulf, flying out of Tyndall Air Force Base in 1985.